Now, high degree of risk involved in trading, past performance is not indicative of future results. For those that are new here, and this is a train and trade I've been doing during the month of June. Seem to get a lot of positive feedback about it. And I have 3 books: Winning the Day Trading Game, The Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. These books are still pertinent, even though they were written close to 20 years ago. So very, very, very good resources to go to for different markets and the strategy that we've operated with for a long time here at DTI. In my opinion, I think the market, if we pass the bill, there's going to be a rally after that, and then there should be a sell-off followed by a test of the lows of that sell-off, and then that will open up. We bring out the chimpanzee T-Buzz and start buying a bunch of stocks, okay? Because I think by the 3rd week of July, there's going to be a lot of tailwinds behind everything that we do. So I'm excited about that. I'm doing work right now. I've got a list of people that had requested a phone call after this train and trade today. I'll start the process. So if you want to get on that list, you can contact me at TG@DTI Trader. Adam will print it off, and I'll put you behind those that already signed up. I got it behind me, and I plan on doing that after 3 today. Pick up the phone and call you and try to get a plan in place, because I don't want anybody that wants to have the knowledge, experience that I can bring to the table not to understand the power of that. Okay, there's a lot of what I would call English you can put on your portfolio, and I just want to know what are the parameters and try to help you navigate that. So my plan is after 3 today, expect a call from 251 if you're on my list already. Anybody not on the list that wants to get on that list, please put your name and email and phone number in here. Adam will take it, capture it, and give it to me. So we want to do that. It's at tg@dtitrader.com. Okay? Any questions about that and the plan? Okay. Just wanted to cover that, make sure we got that. The next time I'll be with students will be next month, July 14th and 15th. Have a small class here, and then the 16th, 17th, we got a one-on-one. That's in July. So that's the plan, and I hope everybody takes advantage of trying to get down here and be with me. I put some extra classes on board where people could have an opportunity, to come and sit and have a good plan. Look, it's only your retirement and your life savings. You better make it count, right? That's why you're here today, to try to learn and educate yourself. So I'm here to try to navigate that with you. I'm in the same boat you are, and I'm spending a lot of time getting plans in place because I want to make sure as we go into the second half of the year, we maximize all the opportunities. And I hope that is what everybody wants to see happen. And, it's all different phases of things you can do. And I don't think, we can have a 5-minute call and I can save you a lot of the School of Hard Knocks and tell you exactly what I would do if I was you, because I've been you at some point in my career after 40-something years. So anyway, I'm going to do that. And we're going to knock it out. I want to get started because it'll be too late after the 3rd week of July, because then I'll be totally focused on pulling the gold out of the rocks that they'll throw at us. 15 laws of trading. I want to review this for people because I think it's important. You have to control your emotions. Why do I say that? Because there's a balance goes on between fear and greed. And all traders possess it. I possess it. So I have to think about this when I make trades. What is my risk on this trade? What is my goal on this trade, and where am I wrong? Knowing that before I ever get into the trade, and this is the key, will help you improve your trading. How many people have a problem with their emotions when it comes to winning and losing in trading? How many people actually have problems? Well, you got to come up with a process, John, and you have to do that because you're going to lose, and it's okay to lose. This morning, I'm having a great day, but I had a couple losses in there as I traded the different markets. So, point being is, it's part of trading. You have a plan, and that's the key. Take your time. When you put your dollars out there, make sure you're very fine whether you win, lose, or draw with the trade. Now, every Tuesday, for year after year after year, I told people that you need to connect the dots to figure out whether you ought to be long, whether you ought to be short, or whether you ought to be out. It starts with the yearly open. Is a stock above its yearly open? Well, as you progress through the year, those stocks, very simple. It's a simple concept, but go check stocks out now in your portfolio and say, hey, I'm making money with this stock this year. Why? I bet you'll go check and find out it's above its yearly open. Then you look at the current month and you say, am I making money this month? Well, check the opening price and see if it's above the monthly open. When it's below the monthly open, like I'll give you an example, Berkshire is below its monthly open and it's making money for the year, longer term play, but the problem is it's correcting. It's correcting right now. So I won't be making Berkshire plays during this month as long as it stays that way. The week open gets into more trading where we start on Sunday night, like we did last night. We open at the low and we've been building upon that low to go higher, but we haven't gone high enough to confirm. And that number lays somewhere up above 6105 on the S&P. And I gave you numbers last night sort of as a guideline that you could use. And they've been great numbers. And the way that played out was if you go look at it, and if I turn to those numbers and look at my schedule I gave you, and I look at those numbers, I said, well, 59.69. Well, we didn't go below 59.69. Once we got above 60.20 this morning, that was the positive. I had a pivot number I gave you this morning, 60.45, and now the next stop, 60.75. That's how that works. Does everybody understand what I just said? That's so valuable, what I just said about connecting the dots. Last night, I gave you the numbers, and here they are. If you wasn't there, 61.28 was the high, 60.75, 60.20, 59.69. I'll stop right there because that was the low. And then we got above 60.20. I plug in my pivot number, which is 60.45. And the next stop, if you look at the current price at 60.50, is 60.75. Still looking up right now, the way I read it. Now, tomorrow is Tuesday. That's trade day. These numbers really solidify for the week on trade day. And that happens tomorrow. So this law is one of the laws I've followed for years, and it's made my hit list for knowing where things are. Now, how many people's heard me talk about time? I'm not talking about time just during the day. I'm talking about time of the year, time of the month, time of the week, time of the day. And that gets into our 24-hour market, okay? And that's what I talk about, time. And right now, it's 12 after 11. We got a reference bar approaching. That reference bar approaching is Genesis, and that's very important to understand the current trend. Have to understand time and all categories of time. You know, one of my favorite statements was, if you can tell time, I can teach you to trade. Now, what I mean by that is integrate those reference bars into the daily, integrate the weeklies into the monthlies, integrate the monthlies into the year. Key numbers. Now, key numbers are numbers that mean something. What are key numbers? That's where support is, it's where resistance is, and it's where pivot is. Key numbers are very valuable to what we do. I don't know about you, but I can't trade without key numbers. So you got to come up with a process for getting key numbers. Each day it starts out with the opening price. Then it goes into the reference bars, high and low. RB1, RB2, RB3, RB4, X, Y, Z. Those are the key numbers during the day. 7 different times during the day, generate those numbers and help you get on the right side of the market. Very important. The 24-hour global clock, I've showed this thing for about 20 plus years. It's so valuable. You know, all the people across the country, I have laid out for you where you don't have to stay up and age like I did learning this stuff. You have it right here. There's the times for the 24-hour market. Know these times. Know that last night, Asia was down initially, got stronger. Europe was open, got stronger. US morning is stronger. And now, as we make this transition to California, we have to figure out, is it going to be stronger or weak? Right now, the numbers justify that we're pushing higher. But here it is, folks, how you should conduct your day by these times. Relationships. Let's talk about that. I told you to follow crude oil. You may have heard me say follow crude oil, and I said it's a short at the end of this. Remember me saying that? Well, crude oil, okay, has been coming down, which is relationship to the general market because it's basically giving the market a runway to go higher. When I look over at crude at 73, I don't think it's at $73. I think it's $5 below today's open. Go check it out. We opened at 78. We've been selling crude all night long, all day long, and it's headed lower. Crude is going lower. That's what the market's telling you. Not what the news is saying, but what the market is telling. That's relationship. Seasonality. Do you know why I have so many strategies? I'll tell you why I have so many strategies. I have so many strategies because of seasonality. There's a different way when I trade in January, February, and March versus how I trade April, May, and June, or July. These quarters are seasonality, and you got to have strategies. As you get in that last quarter of the year, you got everything in there. October, November, December always turns into the best quarter of the year. You got volume, you got action, you got money. That's why that's the most valuable quarter of the year, October, November, December. But the rest of it is sort of a preamble to give you a game plan for the biggest quarter of the year. Right there, seasonality. And stocks trade in their own bubble of seasonality. Inside the Roadmap software, we talk about that all the time. Divergence. Now, this is what was happening, okay? You'd think if crude's going up, gold ought to be going up. No. There's divergence going on right now. People, this is a currency play, are putting money into gold today and taking money out of crude oil. That's a divergence. Sometimes they're in sync, but today they're not. That's telling you that there's a change afoot. Gold's going higher. Goes above 34.11 today, it's going to be an outright buy. Okay, if it does it. Right now it's at 34.05, 34.04. That's divergence. We've got a video on that Astro inside our Futures First. You ought to go. Are you in Futures First, Astro? There's a video that tells you everything about it. Go watch it. Tells you how to compute the pivot. Hot and sizzling. Okay, there's two stocks I had on my top 10 list. Y'all remember what they were? Let me give them to you. Let me read these two stocks I gave you and show you the power of numbers, okay? I had Circle. I said, if Circle goes above 250, it's a buy. Where's Circle at right now? 100 shares of this would put $4,000 in your pocket. Does that, you see why that's valuable? When I give you this on Sunday night, you write these numbers down. It's at 291 right now. That's huge. I said on CoreWeave, it needs to get above 190. Hadn't happened. That's an example. Gold is starting to break out. It's at 312. I see it right now, 312. We'll check gold when we go there. Silver, 33.85. Got a little bid in silver. CVX, an oil play. All this is important to know, okay? These numbers that pay, hot and sizzling. I'm long that Circle over and I'm just smiling all the way to the bank. Opens versus closes. No matter what time frame, whether it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, daily, you need to know where that bar opened at. If that's whatever you want to use, the key number is not the close, it's the opening. And the close / current price is how you decide long, short, or out. So if you go look at the current bar, say on the E-mini, and I look at the opening price of the current bar, it's 60.40 and we're trading 60.50. Is that bullish or bearish if the current price is higher than open? It's bullish. So in the smaller picture, it's bullish when you look at that. And that's how you read it, okay? Bicycle trade. These are what I call trades that are give-me's, okay? How many people like to put on a trade that just goes your way from the start? Well, if you get the trend right, you can do that trade a lot with stocks like this Circle right now at 290. I mean, $290 a share. That's pretty exciting to me. Bicycle trade. News. Got to understand news. There's economic news and there's outside news that's going on right now. Okay, let's just evaluate some of it. Okay, all the numbers that we've seen so far economically suggest that inflation's coming lower. Everybody agree with that? Looking at all the key reports, got a couple this week, but GDP and PCE, but we got those this week. That's bullish, isn't it? The numbers going on, the jobs numbers are good, everything is good there, okay? Now let's talk about news that's going to affect your pocketbook. Taxes are a big part of an economy. If there's a tendency of the government to raise taxes, that's not good. But if they lower taxes, means you get to keep more of your own money and manage it, that's good. Private industry versus the government is a lot better to put money in the private side than the government side. That's just a trend that if you got to look at. So why am I so bullish on the market? That's the trend going on. Look at the unemployment numbers. Private industry is growing, government is shrinking. That's good, okay? That's a good way to interpret it. Now, Then we turn to the bill before Congress. Yes, we have a debt problem. We have a spending problem. It's not going to change overnight. However, you got to walk before you run. Therefore, is it better not to pass a bill? Here's a question for you, common sense question. Is it better for you not to pass the bill or to pass the bill? If you don't pass it, your taxes go up 60%. How would you vote? Just on that issue alone. You're going to pay 60% higher taxes, or would you pass it? People with common sense would say, let's pass it and then deal with the debt problem. We got another shot at it. We got, we don't have to solve it in one bill. Some of these people that are elected don't seem to get that simple point. You walk before you run. And the fear, Skip says the fear is bankruptcy. I get that. But we're a long way from bankruptcy if you look at the total debt picture versus revenue picture. So we're not even close there, but we do. I'd be happy to have a balanced budget. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you, we got to walk before we run. So I'm going to pass this sucker, given that thing. Mark says tax breaks won't affect most who are watching. I disagree. Anytime companies, you invest in companies, right, Mark? You invest in stocks. If the stocks make more earnings, their price goes up. If their price goes up, you benefit. So they do affect you. That's the way I think about it. Okay. Pivot numbers. What do I start every day with? What do I start every day with in TNT? What do I start every day with when I do my video? I have a daily pivot. My daily pivot today was 60-45, and this is hard for me to even believe. The pivot on Friday was 60-45. So I got pivot on Friday, 60-45, today's pivot 60. And I say to myself, wow, I wouldn't have expected that, but that's what the numbers said. And that's what I did. Are y'all enjoying my laws of trading? This is something I put together over the years, and I think they just make you start thinking about how lucky we are. I have the goods. Listen and learn what I'm teaching. Pyramid. Okay, let me talk about pyramid. Let's say this morning I thought the market was going up, which I did, and I sold a put spread. Okay? Pyramiding means once I get ahead, I sell more of that put spread to make more money. That's exactly what I did. That's how you pyramid a trend. So I start out maybe with a 10 lot, I go to a 20 lot, so on and so forth. So when you get a trade that's paying you, you pyramid it, and that's what you do. Pyramiding. I like the pyramid on a good trend. Free riding. Now this gets into the art of taking profits. In my book, I talk about this, but I call it 3 trades when you make a trade. You got the probe trade, which is where you put your feet in the water. Then you got your full boat. After you get to your full boat, you got to decide how you're going to sell it. You can sell it in 3 different ways. Deb Stone, who met Deb at the Sawgrass, she's got a very disciplined approach. What she does, and I like it, she sells on options. I like this. She sells 1/3 at 10%, 1/3 at 20%, and 1/3 sometimes at 30 or 40%. I like that approach. If you average all that together, she's doing pretty good. But what she's doing is removing risk from the trade by doing it that way. Did everybody understand the way Deb does it? I like the way she does it. That's just one approach that she came up with that sort of mirrors what I'm getting at. When you get a trade, you got to take some profit on it. Notice I said trade, short term with options, you got to take profit, right? Everybody understand? Sell some at 10% profit, sell some at 20, some at 40, or whatever number you want to throw, but be disciplined about it. Now, what I would tell you to do it over about 10 trades, see what works best for you and your style, and adjust it. Those are not hard and fast. But the theory behind it is. And then you get what I call the beautiful free ride. Free ride means you take it all your risk capital off the table and just let it rock and roll. That's the beautiful thing about it. Let it rock and let it roll. Pete asked, do I reverse pyramid as I back out? I do, Pete, at some time if the reference bars tell me to do it, I might consider that, in other words, take it back down, or you just totally get out when I'm wrong. That's what the probe is about. I like to probe the market because once I have money at risk, my focus goes from maybe 50-50 to about 90-10. I'm really dialed in once I got real money in the line, okay? That's just me. That's why I like to probe, okay? That's why I like to do it. But that's free riding. In over 40 years trading, I've never had a tool that simply answered the question long, short, or out like MTI. Now, what I'd like to do is break here and go to a live market and show you MTI, okay? Adam, if you'll set me up where I can talk about it, I'll be glad to do it.
You should be good to go now.
I'm good to go. All right, first I got to change my symbol. My symbol on this computer is /ESU25. So I'm going to ask you, the first thing I look at on MTI on the E-mini is, do I have a green arrow or red arrow? What do I have there, folks? A green arrow, right? And we're going higher. Then I ask myself the question, if I'm going higher, where would I turn south? I'd look at the second white line, the lower one there, and I said, I guess if we got below 60-20, I'd have to review it. Does everybody see that on the E-mini? 60-20. If it broke 60-20, I have to reevaluate. This is on the short term, okay? Now, the beautiful thing about this is, up here in numbers, it said once it got greater than 6035, I need to be long, okay? That was the beautiful thing about it. Does everybody see what I'm talking about right there? Let me spread that out a little bit, see if it helps. Yeah, 6035, okay? So the E-mini, which represents the S&P 500, is telling us we ought to be long, and I'm long, okay? Now, let's dial in the NASDAQ futures. The NASDAQ futures is telling you ought to be long with the green arrow, and it tells me if it goes below 21855, I need to reevaluate, about 100 points down. That's the NASDAQ futures. Now, here's the market that there's no way I would have ever attempted to trade this market today unless I had MTI. Let me tell you what it said. Put CL in there, crude oil. What does it tell me about crude oil? Should I be long or short crude? Right. It's going lower, lower, and lower. And so as long as it stays below 74.30, about $1.40 from here, you want to be short. Now, I would tell you, if you do trade true, you definitely got to have a stop in, okay? Because that could change in a minute. But right now, since last night, this market's been selling off all night long. Red arrow, red arrow, red arrow. Everybody see that? No doubt about it, it's been a sell. Okay, that's crude. Now let's look at gold. I mentioned gold looked like it was trying to get higher. Here's gold. Everybody see that? Look at gold. There's your gold market. This is the beautiful thing about it. How about bonds? You know, we talk about interest rates. Everybody talks infinitum about interest rates. Why not you have a gauge that tells you what happened in interest rates? What are interest rates telling you right now with bonds at their high? What is that telling you? Interest rates are coming down. That's exactly what it's telling. Now let's look at the stock. I got to put this in there. I'm just excited as I can be. CRCL. Can you believe that stock? Look at that. Been up to 298. Big green arrow there. Everything's beautiful. That's huge. Now, let's look at RTX. I talked about it last night. RTX is a defense stock. It's telling you right now you wouldn't want to be a buyer of it, but if it got above 148.55, I would buy it. So I would set a buy stop because this sector is very strong if it got above 148.55 and go long. That's one in the future right there on RBX. Does everybody see how I did that? I looked at the current price telling me the bigger trend's higher. I'm looking at the smaller trend, but if it gets above 148.55, it's going to go higher. Very easy, any ticker with MTI, you can get on the right side of the market. Okay? Somebody mentioned Tesla early. Well, Tesla's been sort of in a bearish move, hadn't it? Y'all see what time it got you long right there? About 325, right? Look at it. It's at 354. What do you think of that? Claire asked a great question. How do I know when to get out? Carol, I'd use the reference bars. I'd use this in conjunction with my reference bars. That's exactly what I would do. Great question. And that would be reference bars on the roadmap software. But right now, I want you to see the power of this one great tool that I'm using. I mean, that's the only way I'm 22 for 22 in June, using MTI and roadmap together, which tells you better get it. Anyway, it's tremendous, is what I'm saying. It's tremendous. All right, that's Tesla. Let's do the QQQ. QQQ is bullish. Okay, so that rolls into the TQQ. Let's roll into that. The TQQ, it's bullish. It's basically telling you could be long the TQQ and put a stop at 72.44 in the TQQ. Now, I would go look at, since it's Genesis time, I would wait to 12 and see if you got a positive reading. If it gets a positive reading, meaning the reference bar is positive after Genesis, then I'd buy the TQQ. You see how I'm integrating the roadmap and MTI together. It's not just one tool that tells me everything. I got two tools working side by side, telling me what to do. I'm in a buy on TQQ, but why buy it right now? Wait till I get a roadmap positive, then I'd buy it. It tells me where I'm wrong, below 72.58. That's the TQQ. Y'all got any other stocks you want me to look at? Name a stock or two I'll throw in there for you. Palantir, that's a good choice. Let's look at Palantir. All right, you got to put the right symbol in. It's not idiot proof. You got to put the right symbol in. Bullish on Palantir, so the same thing would apply. I would buy Palantir if during this Genesis bar it ends up positive. Time-wise, I still got another 22 minutes before I know the answer to that, right? That's Palantir. All right, let's look at gold. We talked about gold, GLD. All right, here's gold. Gold is bullish. It's at 312 right now, or anyway, 312. So here's the question. When would I buy gold right now? It all boils down. Let's see what Genesis says on gold. If Genesis is positive, got a higher high, I'm buying gold this afternoon. You see what I'm doing here by using this great tool and then going over to the roadmap to get the actual numbers where I'm entering and exiting. Everybody see that? Any other stocks you want me to do? Yeah, it needs to be U25. You got to do the rollover to U. All right, you want to look at NVDA. It's bullish, but again, write this down. If I'm bullish, I'm going to go to the nearest reference bar for guidance. That's simple. SMR, okay, I can put SMR in there. SMR. Okay, SMR is bearish, but I'm not going to short it because this is a bullish stock. I know the stock, SMR. All right, what I'd like to do now is go back to my slide presentation, Adam. Did y'all enjoy what I've done so far? It brings about the reason I'm talking about the following. When I say in over 40 years of trading, I've never had a tool that simply answered that question, long, short, out, like MTI does. It is so accurate, it really helps you. Let's take a look.
Can you close out that little window that's covering
What
the slide?
window?
There's a little window on the slide to the left of it.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
How's that?
Perfect.
I didn't pick up on it, but you did. That's good. All right. 40 years of trading, never had a tool that answered long, short, or out. Market timing indicator. You don't have to be a computer whiz to do it. You saw how easy it was to do. All you got to do is be able to type the symbol in. Copy that link into your platform. You don't have a Thinkorswim account, get one. It's simple to do. It's free. You'd be using the market timing indicator the way I was showing you how easy it is. You download it step by step. If you need any help, we'll help you. And we'll have a video talk you through it. Once you're done, you start using it right away with no extra steps. All you can do is wait for the green arrow. That gets you started. Then you ask the question. If I go long, where am I wrong? And then tie it into the roadmap. Last week, we talked about TGTX about a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, you look at it now, it takes off because we had the error. Nice to see a trade work like that. Half the battle for most folks know which stocks to trade. We have a scanner inside MTI. It's called the Opportunity Scanner. I didn't get in detail about it, but man, you got numbers now to tell you exactly where the signal is going to come. Makes it nice, doesn't it? Looks that simple. Throws out the words buy, you buy. Throws out the word short, you sell. Never guess. Follow the process. Let it work for you. You can look any ticker that's traded out there, put it in here, even Bitcoin, commodities, everything. I showed you what it did in crude oil. Look for that green arrow. Do the setup. I showed you. Follow along. See how impressive it is. Look at that, 151% on that option in 45 days. Here's BlackRock, same thing, identified it on the scanner. Green arrow. The setup on a tear for offer. And that's time the daily in, which I didn't talk about with the short term. I stayed with the short term today. Using the market timing indicator, you had a shot at 310% on that one. So when you get a match on the daily up, a match on the short term, that's a stay with you type trade, okay? Entries and exits on each trade, easily worth a lot of money. I think we're running that special today. Make it even better for folks to take action. Market timing indicator. We got 3 master lessons: how to do long-term trading with MTI, how to do short-term trading with MTI, how to do swing trading with MTI, income trading with MTI. It does it all. And putting it all together to have a big picture about the market you're in. I don't know how anybody's going into tomorrow without it if you don't have it. This is the only way you can keep up with a fast-moving paced market like this that's changing and bouncing around, doing all that stuff. Clear overview how to use it. We'll always train on it. All this could be sold separately, but we didn't do that. We packaged it. We made it VIP lifetime. You don't have to pay the $4,000. You don't have to pay what's on the website. If you buy it today, you have a true special. And boy, how are you going to have a second half like we're going to have if you don't have the right tools? Shouldn't be any reason you don't want it. Get it in your account. 50% discount. Wow, that takes it down. $19.97, but not done yet. During this webinar, VIP. One cost to get all the updates. Boy, that's been very valuable as we added the short term to it, huh? Unlimited code updates as we do it. Market timing indicator without having to pay the upgrade fee. I think the $19.95 is a fair price, but what we did today was something special. Here it comes. Let's make 24% on NVIDIA. Make 140% on Lunar. 214 on MSTR. Best opportunities right here. Taking that $500 off takes it to $14.97. Incredible. Make it happen. Save thousands by buying it today. Additional off. Click the link, dtitrader.com/MTI, or call. If you got a question, you can call 904-706-3532. You'll be using it. You'll be checking your portfolio out. Let's have that great second half year. Get this on your computer. Learn to use it. Get your lifetime membership. Do it now. People love it. Look what Dave said. Look at that. Nothing's close. Just fast. The other Dave said, best tool for anybody wanting to trade successfully. Click the link in the chat. Claim your lifetime membership. Go to dtitrader.com/MTI. 904-706-3532. We have a Telegram channel. We post special trades in there to make sure anybody that joins ends up with a scholarship on the product. I make sure of that. $14.97, get started. It's coming. Call 904-706-3532. Now, we're going to take a break here. I've been going nonstop almost for an hour. Let's take a 20-minute break, Adam, and come back in 20 minutes. Any questions, typing in here? I'll be looking at the market, trying to find something to talk about. Our next session is going to be on the roadmap. Twenty minutes. I like having a timer. It tells me when to come back. You have to admit, you've got some world-class education right there, and now get a world-class tool to help you. You put the timer up, blame All right, folks, let's tee it back up here. We're going to talk about the roadmap software next. And then ready to go, Adam?
Good to go?
Let's do it. Opening bell breakouts. Let's simplify the art of trading. I know that's a pretty aggressive statement, but if you take the mistakes I made, you're able to narrow it down and maybe get past some of the obstacles that I overcame. It comes down to the simple steps of deciding long, short, or out, which instrument to buy or sell. By far, the most important question any trader can answer every day. For example, when you look at the market right now, you got to ask yourself, should I be long, should I be short, or should I be out? I answer that question over and over again, day in and day out. Getting the right answer means we write our own ticket. Now, we have a weapon inside the roadmap to help make that decision. Let me show you how to simplify the process by trading the right instrument. First of all, the principle 75% of all stocks follow the S&P 500. That's an underlying principle of the entire DTI method. That means if I can get the direction of the E-mini correct, already I'm ahead of 90% of the crowd, okay? So we do it after the first 30 minutes, we take the opening bell breakout and we decide. Having that edge, and I don't know about you, don't you like having the confidence to know when you make a trade, it's a good trade? It follows all the process that got you into the trade. You got some way to measure the trade. Well, the roadmap software does that for you. You got to learn to read it, just like English. Now, I got new people here. I've been around a while, former Air Force officer. I've been an active trader for a greater part of my career, former member of Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and I have 3 great books, Winning the Day Trading Game, The Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. There's a picture where I started. I built that school in Mobile, Alabama, 1555 University Boulevard, right there. Anybody here ever been to Mobile in that school, in the classroom there? Wasn't it great, the theater seating that we had? Everything you needed at your fingertips. It was a great school, great classroom. And if you've been there, I think you would agree with me, a lot of training and education went on. Now, I come into the day, I go out of the week asking, should I be long, short, or out? Here's 5 insights to help answer that question. Know the pivot number. That's how I start out every day, isn't it? I give you a pivot number, and that pivot number is 6045 for today. That's my basic premise of having a number to know if I'm above, think up, below, think down. Insight number 1. Insight number 2, the buy and sell zones inside the roadmap increase my odds of success. In other words, if you go up and then go up high enough, then you get follow through. That's what we're looking for. Insight number 2. The proprietary tools we developed over the years, we determine what's the strongest horse to play. Options can leverage that profit potential. Make your decision, take action, stick to the plan. Using these insights, making the right long, short, out decisions, what I think the reason we're successful. That process I learned the hard way. Y'all remember back on October 19th, 1987, that was the worst day in my career at the time. I still think it might have been the best day of my career at the time. It shook me out of that fog. Look at what happened. Can you imagine the market falling 22.6% on a Monday? It happened on that day. Volume doubled. Now, after that period of time, I had to go through the emotional, I guess, call it the crybaby stage, where I was looking for somebody to blame or looking for somebody to say, what's wrong? What happened? But becoming and narrowing it down to that simple question, should I be long, short, or out? Help me. It'll help you. The simple question commits you. It drives out the fear, which I had a bunch of it back in those days. Very optimistic, and I take action. A lot of fear out there today. A timely presentation. Lack of knowledge creates fear. For example, I put on an oil trade in my futures account. It was part of 3 trades. I've only done one of them. I said, I only got a hit on 1 of the 3 to make money. I've only done 1 of those trades. There's a chance you lose, but you run out the clock on the one you got to see if it works. I still believe the market's going down. We'll see if I'm right. Right now, I'm not, but I will see before that expiration if I am. And should I be long, short, or out today? I said you ought to be short today. Questions answered every day by looking at the DTI method based on time. I told you about Genesis. We just finished that. The key numbers, I know now through halfway through last night and this morning, I know where the numbers reside, and the leading indicators presented by the roadmap software. Again, that chart works for MTI, it works for this. There's the Asian, European time frame. We're making a transition from the AM to the PM session. Not there quite yet, but we're getting there. The concept of time laid out across that chart. Same things that go in MTI. Understand the year, the month, the week, the day. Pivot numbers, where resistance is, where support is. The art of framing. Connecting the futures market to options. Connecting the futures market to the stock market, and the concept of average true range. When you combine these elements, you answer the most important question in trading, whether to be long, short, or out. That action plan every day, you're following a process with the roadmap. You will have optimism because you'll end up being consistent and able to grow your account. Allows you to write that own ticket, your own ticket. These insights are boiled down to get you on the right side of the market and make it simple for you to see it. The roadmap makes it simple. Let me show you how it works in real life. Roadmap simplifies the simple long, short, out parameters. Here's the RB Trader, where you put the tickers you care about in here, and they tell you how to think about the current market. Best way to do it is using roadmap. I wouldn't trade without it. We'll come back to this slide when I finish. Let's go to a live market. First thing we're going to do is show you how to roll over a contract that said M Astro into you. All right, Adam, let's go to a live market.
Are you going to do the rollover?
Or Jeff can do it if he wants to take over.
Yeah, 1 second. He had to log out. 1 second.
Okay.
One second, I can't get him. I'm just going to share yours, Tom.
Okay, share mine. I'll show it.
All right, there you go.
Inside that green thing, I can show people stuff.
Yep.
All right. Let's do the rollover first, okay? So if you hit this button right here, Astro, let me bring it chat. Okay. If I hit this button right here and go rollover,
That's the green guy icon in the upper left corner. He was
right there in the upper left hand, you hit that button, see where it says rollover, it pops this up. And so if I wanted to roll over a June contract, I would type M25. And then I'd hit OK. And then I'd type in the contract I want to roll it over to, which is U25. And it would roll over every contract in my current roadmap that had M, every future in there that had M, it'd roll it over to U. And the beautiful thing about that is that then all you'd have to do, rollover list would come up. In my case, I got everything rolled over. You hit OK, it rolls it over. And the main thing you got to remember, once you roll it over, save your workspace or you have to do the same thing tomorrow. So that's a little memory item you got to do. But Astro, that's how easy it is to do it.
Hey, Tammy, it'll be on YouTube. I'll post the link.
Everybody see that?
It'll be the same link.
All right, so let's, once I cover that, I'm gonna bring up a couple of features here and show you some, the way to keep up with what's going on, okay? So if you go to tables, under tables, we have a secret weapon called the reference bar table. Everybody see that, okay? And if you pop that up there like that, see it's got M there, but let me do it another way where I don't do that. I just build it from scratch. Roll over, let's see, roll over reference bar table right there. And I'll build it from scratch. I'll just call it 622. Pop it up there, and then I'll type in symbols, add symbols. Let's just see, E-mini. Here's the E-mini. You got to type the symbol in, you type ES in, /ES U25. Pop that in there. And you can see it gives you all the key numbers that you ought to be using. Those 60, 47, 42, 41, down there at 27, and we're below that. And spread it out, tells you down to 24. It takes you all the way down to 21. That's all the key numbers for the E-mini. And that's under roadmap. Now, let's talk about another feature called Roadmap Trader. You find it on here.
It's the RB Trader.
Yeah, RB Trader. Let me find it. There it is right there. Okay, this is the one I keep up all the time. Okay. Let's just do that. And we'll go, let's call it 622 again. Open it up. Bring it in a little bit. Okay. All right, so let's just start out the E-mini, see what it's saying right now. What it's going to do is go to the current reference bar, okay? When I type that symbol in there, /ESU25, Going to type it in there, and you'll see it saying short. That doesn't mean short for today, but it means that during the current Genesis bar, we've broken the low of Genesis, and it's telling us it's coming down. Does everybody see that? That's a very important point. Here at Genesis, the market is telling you it's coming down. That's a change from what we had earlier, right? Everybody acknowledge they see that on the E-mini. Now, you say to yourself, yeah, it's coming down, but when will I know it's going up? During this time frame, it's got to get above 42 and a half. Everybody see that? And that's how that works. And you put stocks in there too. Just right click and let's put a stock in there. Let's put Tesla in there. Tesla's been running today. See what it's doing. Tesla. So I was long Tesla. It is telling me maybe I ought to take profits. I don't want to be long Tesla again until it goes above 355. This is during the Genesis bar. And that's the value of it. You got these numbers that tell you everything about any market that you want to go to. Okay? That's a feature that I keep up all the time. I'm looking at it up there right now, and it warns me that the market's changed direction. Does everybody see the value of that? Now, here's another thing I really like, which is charts, compass. I'm going to put a chart up here, see what chart comes up. Okay. I'm going to put crude oil in here. What's this? Dash CLQ25. This is crude oil. Let's just look at it. Notice I got it on a daily, it's bearish. Everybody see that? Can everybody see how that's bearish on the day when I've been talking about being bearish? But let's go to a 30-minute here at Genesis and see what it's telling us. It's telling us it's higher than the Genesis bar. Everybody see that? Now, if you go look at MTI right now, 74.28 area, about the next 15 minutes is going to tell the tale. Look over the roadmap, it's actually 74.30. So if I was short crude and got above 74.31, I'd get out. That's how you'd use it. One other feature I'll show you, I'll move that over to the side. Other feature I use all the time under tables is the ETR line. I love the ETR line because when I'm doing presentations, like I am right now, it does automatic tape reading for me. Spread that out. And I can see going. Now, if I go gold, I got to put the correct symbol in there, which is dash G C U25. Look what happened. Give it a second, see if it fills in. A little slow. Look at the QQQ, 526.28, 594. SQQs come up, TQQs come down on the tape. Look at gold. Remember where I told you gold would turn bullish, 34.11? So let's go through it. I'd see that, and then I would slide the chart on gold in there. Say, how's it look on gold? I'd go slash GCQ25. 34.10 is the high, start taking that out. Then we're going to start, that's on swing, let's do intraday. Brings it in. See the frame, RB frame, it's breaking out of the frame, goes above 10.10. Then I'd probably buy gold here, okay? That's the way I would do it. Any questions about what I just showed you? Yeah, we'll put a link to it, but I just wanted to show you some of the key tools that keep me up and current in the market, okay? Any questions about what I showed you? This is very important what I just showed you with the roadmap. It does so much more. I'm just trying to show you some of the trading features that you have with the roadmap software. Yeah, sure. Let's look at Circle, which was $50 higher, right? Circle's come down. So how do you read that? Well, it's that it's broken its midpoint, 265, 232 is support, but it's still inside the reference bar. Until it breaks that 232, I'm still a buyer. I just got to wait to the market itself quits going down. See how the market can affect a stock that's going higher? There's a prime example. Everybody see that? General market turned down 6,009, right? And Circle turned down. Now the high of that reference bar is 263.83. So I'd probably buy it if it got back above that if the market was normal, meaning not going down. Any questions about that? Jackie, did that answer your question? Claire, because it'd be back above the RB3, which would tell me it didn't make a low. I'm assuming it didn't make a low to make that statement. And maybe the market's turning up. I'd rather pay 264 for it with it going up than try to catch a falling knife as it's coming down. That's the way I like to trade. All right, Adam, let's go back to the slides.
There you go, T-Buzz.
Okay. People constantly tell me this. Hey, something's going on in the news right now, Adam. See what's going on real quick because the S&P just broke 6,000.
Oh wow, we went.
Not
I
making
got out
sense.
at 6,001.
Huh?
I went short at 60.28 and got out at 6,001 because I said I don't need to be greedy.
Yeah, no kidding. But I'm looking at it. Crude oil's falling out of bed. I mean, crude oil's 73.73. I'm up $550 on a crude short. I think I'll take it. It's just too good to pass up. Why don't we do this? Let's do this, folks. Let's take I was going to go to one today, but I'll go a little longer. Why don't we, Adam, let's take a 10-minute break. Let me do my numbers and I'll come back and analyze this market. We'll bring up MTI and see exactly how to play what we're looking at. But crude oil's falling out of bed. Look at it. Does that sound like a plan? Do it that way? Let me get caught up real quick. All right, let's go back to the slides, Adam, finish it up, and then we'll go to a live market and wrap it up. Now, here's 4 patterns with the roadmap that I teach. Okay, let me get rid of that there. I tell everybody that gets the roadmap, learn these 4 patterns and you got your money back, okay? That pattern there is a buy signal. When you see it set up that way, that's a buy signal. That's when it goes into the buy area and fails. It usually goes to the target of the other thing. It's called a buy failure. Sell signal, opposite of the buy signal, goes into the sell area. Then the sell failure is what you look for in a bull market, where it comes down, makes a minor new low and reverses. It'll go to the target. I like trading, personally, the buy failures and the sell failures. You got bigger gains, lower risk on those type signals. So learn those signals. Take it upon yourself, learn those signals. That's step 1. Here's the best part. The complete program around a roadmap where it shows you exactly what to do at any situation, how to take advantage of it. The roadmap trader package comes with the package. Complete roadmap software for a year. Roadmap trader. The course, what I showed you is in detail to help you. How to manage trades, got a whole way to do it using the roadmap software. That makes it nice for people that are new to trading and learning what way to go. A real quick executive summary, I call it rapid results, and complete access to everything we've done with the roadmap. Should be the most expensive product we have, but we put so many out there over the years, it keeps the cost down. Jonathan will be there to help you, and he also does training twice a week. All that there, man, that is worth a lot of money. Look at it. Everything traders need to know are inside the roadmap software. And we help you no matter if you're good with computers or bad with computers. A lot of money went into this. It's how we do our living. Now, here's what we're going to do today. You can buy the roadmap for 1 year, $9.97. Roadmap ETR page. Remember, I went on ETR. I use it all the time. That's what got my attention when I took the break. I wanted to go check the market out because of what the ETR was telling me. The compass charts. I use it on every trade. You ought to go look at the compass charts on crude oil right now. You ought to look at DTI on crude or MTI on crude. It's all there. Trade track. Oh, by the way, did I tell you we had a forecast predictor inside the roadmap? You want to know where these stocks go to? Well, guess what? Right there. Tells you. We've been in this game a long time. You know I've made and lost fortunes. We're in it together. We're going to keep improving it. When I get an idea, we turn it into action. You'll get the upgrade. Don't procrastinate. We'll limit this to 30. There it is, folks, the roadmap. So here's what we're going to do. Those that don't have a roadmap, I covered two key tools to our success. MTI by DTI and the roadmap software. Time-wise, it's 1 o'clock. I'll give you a choice. Would you like to take a 30-minute break for lunch or take a 10-minute break and come back. Let me do a wrap up. You tell me what you want. I'll do either one. 10 minute? All right, we'll take a 10-minute break and wrap it up. And when we come back, we'll have both of them side by side, Skip, okay? When we go live in 10 minutes. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to look at the roadmap and MTI side by side. So let me just get, when Adam gets here, we'll do that. But Adam, are you here?
I'm here, T-Bud.
All right, let's set up, they could see the chart on MTI, and I'll put the chat over here. And then we'll have the roadmap side by side. I'll put a compass chart, okay?
Right.
Yeah, so here, I can help you here. Let me do this real quick, okay? So over here, up to here, okay? And then we'll put the roadmap right there, okay? The compass chart, okay? Let me help you there. Move that sucker right there.
Yep, 1 second.
Yeah, what I did. Let me move it over. Yeah, Skip, I told him to bring back, we have a package deal for both of it, Skip. Okay, can everybody see MTI right here? Everybody see the roadmap right here? I want to change this first to crude. Okay, and I'm going to change this one to crude. All right, everybody see that? Now, this is the beauty of it. Okay, the beauty of it is that you're going to sell signal on crude on MTI. Does everybody get that? Sell signal on crude. Everybody get that? So you look at the roadmap, and the roadmap broke Genesis, so you could short crude about 73. Crude went down to a low of 70.65. That's a heck of a trade on crude. Now, all day long, what have I been telling people in futures and in TNT? Well, all day long, what I've been saying about crude started last Friday. I've been telling you it was going to be a short, didn't I? Well, it's starting to play out. If it gets below 70 tonight, it's going to be really big. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. That's crude, and that is DTI. Okay, everybody got that? Okay, now I want to put. I was asked by somebody to look at Circle, CRCL. Okay, that's Circle, and then let's look at it. And I said I would buy it I said I would buy Circle if it got above 264. Y'all remember me talking about it going above 264, I'd buy it? I did during that break, it's at 271 right now. I'm taking a few off up here at these highs. That's what I do. I interchange these back and forth. And by doing that, what does that do to my account? If I'm able to do that using those two tools. See how these two tools play out? Pretty cool. That's the beautiful thing about it. So Circle looks like it's made its lows, and now we'll see how it plays out. If it goes higher than the day's high, it's off to the races for another high. But it came down from 298. Now, let me give you some numbers to use. Use 60-20 on the E-mini. Use 60-45, 60-75. Write those three numbers down. 60-20, 60-45, and 60-75. Then use 59-90 and 59-69. That's your frame for this afternoon on the E-mini. Okay? Now, on crude, here's your numbers. 75-60, 72-32, 70-35. That's crude. Folks, it's been a pleasure being with you today. I'm going to we got a package deal slide for both MTI and for the roadmap. Here's your chance to get it. Adam will handle that. And then I'll remind everybody tonight. This is a heck of a deal I've done here if you want to get it. Tonight at 7, I have my futures first. I gave you the numbers, gave you everything I had, and I enjoyed spending time with you on the train and trade. So let's see where this baby goes this last couple hours. Get some lunch, and I'll see everybody tonight at 7 in my futures first. Y'all have a good night. Good day.